Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Darla. If you're new here, welcome to our spooky horror haven here in this little corner. I want to say welcome to all of our new ghostly friends that have joined us. I'm so glad you guys joined and I hope you have a great time here with us. And if you're not new here, what's up? What's going on? I've missed you. This video I have something really fun planned out. I am going to read a couple of paranormal stories from Reddit that I chose, and I was reading these last night. I don't know why I chose the night to read these. And I did get really spooked, and I am doing this again before I go to bed. So just so you know, before I go to bed, I'm gonna be watching some Bob's Burgers because I get freaked out. I do believe in the paranormal and I do believe in an afterlife. So reading these stories, I do believe the people that write these because I've experienced some stuff myself and so have a lot of my family members. So I do believe stuff like this happens. If you've ever encountered anything paranormal, something that you just can't explain that happened, let me know down in the comments because I want to know what people experience. We're going to start off with the story by All the Pretty Bunnies. Since I was a kid, my nightmares have contained this terrifying child. He has been burned black and his mouth is blood red. Sometimes even when I wake up, I get a thought of him totally out of the blue. It never fails to make me go hot and cold with fear. Something my mom used to say meant that someone was walking across my grave. Oh my god, that's kind of freaky. At about 4:30 this morning, I woke up because it sounded like someone walked into my room. I was still groggy when I got a mental image of that kid standing outside my window staring in at me. My kitty, who was sleeping right before me, woke up and started staring at the window. First of all, Frank is a dummy. Frank is her cat. We love Frank. He is the only clumsy cat I've ever known, and he's the sort of cat that meows out the window at birds. Frank stood up and arched his back, and his tail puffed up, and he was growling at the freaking window. Then he crept across me like he was stalking someone and slid into the windowsill. He stood there and turned sideways and puffed up for a long time. Nothing else happened, but it creeped me out. Now, shout out to Frank because I do believe that animals sense things, especially cats. I don't know why. And dogs too. I believe that they could see stuff that us humans can't. But that's just something I've always believed in. So shout out to Frank. Frank was protecting you. Okay, next we have a story by Piz Pancake 666. I love these names people create on their Reddit. Okay, so this isn't something that I exactly remember, but something my dad told me. To give it some context, our house is quite old and we don't know a lot about the previous owner. I was maybe 2 or 3 when this happened. I used to play alone in my room while my dad occasionally checked in. He noticed that I was talking to myself and asked me jokingly who I was playing with. And we have this extra closet space right next to my room that anyone rarely ever visits. Anyway, I just casually say, "The boy who lives in the closet." Needless to say, my dad was quite spooked and took me downstairs for a while. I actually have a family member who experienced this when she was younger. My beloved niece, I love her so much, but me and my sisters used to babysit her sometimes. Me and my sister used to share a room, and there were times where like my niece would never want to go in the room if the closet door was open, and we'd be like, why? Like, it's okay, like we're in here. And she would sometimes like cry and say no because the lady's in there, like she's gonna get me, there's a lady inside the closet. And of course, needless to say as well, when that started happening, me and my sister shut the door all the time, and we were kind of spooked out about that. But yeah, something about closets, it creeps me out as well now. Next we have a story by Pit Stink. I was playing hide and seek in the woods and NC in the fall. I'm gonna stop you right there, my friend. What do you mean you were playing hide and seek in the woods? Has anybody done that? Is that like oh my god, that's really creepy. All the leaves were on the ground and I was way up in the hill from everyone hiding behind a tree. I thought I heard somebody coming, footsteps on the crunchy leaves, so when I turned to look, there was no one there. Of course, there's no one ever there. But as the sound got closer, I could clearly make out footsteps. This is when it got really weird, and I promise you I remember this vivid to this day, and I'm not lying. I believe you, my friend. I believe you. I looked at the ground in the direction of the footsteps, and clear as day, crunching along the leaves, I watched footsteps crunchy leaves into the ground with no physical body being there. Just the imprints of someone walking right past where I was hiding and on up over the hill. It was not wind, the leaves were not moving anywhere else, there was not even a slight breeze, and the footsteps were so close I could probably guess the shoe size. What? What? This is why we stay out of the woods. This is why we stay out of the woods. Next story is by Mike Epps 3. My cousin came over and slept for the night. We woke up early around 6 a.m. and couldn't go back to sleep. So we went to play football, soccer in the basement as we had a long hall and post. It felt a bit weird, but we played as normal. We would always close all the doors so that the ball wouldn't get stuck in a room like under a bed or something. We kicked the ball at the end of the corridor, and the last door on the right opened on its own, and we saw a shadow walking out. At that moment, we sprinted back upstairs faster than ever. This is why we don't go into the basements. I don't like basements. And let me tell you why I don't like basements. After I saw the first Conjuring, like the first time I saw the first Conjuring, I honestly thought I still to this day think it's one of the scariest movies I've seen, and within the universe itself. So why don't go into basements and play soccer. But that's the reason why I don't like basements. I've never even been into a basement, and I would never want to go into a basement. Okay, next we have a story by Trex33. I posted this before in a similar thread. Moved into a house that is almost 100 years old, and after about a year of living there, one day I was sitting alone painting some D&D figures when Alexa burst out, "Yes, Diana, it's Jimmy's favorite song," and then proceeded to play Beethoven Fifth Symphony. Diana is the name of the lady who previously owned the house and has been dead for about 5 years. Jimmy was her cello playing husband who, after Diana died, moved into a senior assisted living community. What is it about technology and spirits? Because personally, really fast, I have a story. Me and my sister have experienced this with the Google speaker, the one you say like, "Oh, hello Google," or "Hey Google," or something like that. You basically have to address it for it to do whatever command you want, right? Like Alexa. And we were in her room, we were just hanging out talking. None of us said hey, and none of us said Google in any of our sentences, and this thing just said hello. I didn't understand that. What do you mean you didn't understand that? Nobody was talking to you. That I literally walked out of her room so fast because I was like, no, someone's trying to communicate and I'm okay with not communicating, because that's just freaky. It freaked me out. I went into the living room and I sat there and I didn't go into her room for the rest of the day. We have one more, my friends, and this one is by Forksake. I was once playing hide and seeks with my friends in the woods. Not the woods again. Did we not learn from our first friend? Okay, it's okay. Let's see what they have to say. The rules were, if you were caught, I had to text everyone who was caught and was on my side to avoid cheating. I didn't have phone connection in the woods. This is why we don't go into the woods. And ended up in the woods only finding one person and chasing him for at least what felt like half an hour. I couldn't catch him, but when I decided to leave the woods, he started following me. Oh my god. Turns out none of my friends went into the woods and thought it would be funny if I went in alone. That's not funny. They swore none of them went into the woods as part of a joke. I never told them what happened and never mentioned anything at all. Let me tell you, one of my biggest fears is being somewhere with no cell service. Now, let me tell you why. Because if something happens, nobody can save me. And I'm scared. I'm scared of that. That's actually one of my fears. And no, the woods are just freaky, man. Especially like the woods are so big. Not that I've ever been into the woods, and I probably won't go into the woods, but they're so big and a lot of stuff could happen out there. Like there's a lot of people that do stuff that's probably not safe, and things just stay there. Oh my god, no. No. Just play hide and seek in the backyard. I mean, unless your backyard is the woods. but don't go into the woods. And that's all I have for you today, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will be doing more of these because it's a lot of fun to read about what people have experienced. Is it freaky? Yes, at the same time it is, but to know that people have experienced this thing without an explanation makes it even more interesting and scary. And also, thank you to all the new subscribers that are joining. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. And don't forget to stay spooky and ghostly. And I'll see you guys on the next one, okay? Bye.